All right, last part of the rationals is the solving equation. So the nice thing about solving equations is it's very similar to what we just did with the addition subtraction, but it's a little bit easier because now we have two sides to work with. So rather than making our denominators match, we can totally get rid of our denominators using that same LCD idea. All right, so solve. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to look at my fraction, and it is in, the denominators are in factored form. So I want to create my LCD. That 15 is over 1, so it does still have a denominator, but we don't need to worry about it when it's a 1. And so my LCD is each factor independently. First one I run into is 5. 3 is different. So 5 times 3 is going to be our LCD. So what we want to do, instead of trying to get a common denominator, we want to multiply our LCD on both sides. So because it's 5 times 3, I would probably rewrite that as 15 before working with it. All right, so I'm going to copy my equation down. So we have y divided by 5 minus y divided by 3 equals 15. So we are multiplying both sides of our equation by the LCD. What that means is every term is going to be multiplied by it. So the y divided by 5 is going to get multiplied by the LCD 15. So what that's going to do, remember when you multiply fractions, it goes on the top. So what I'm going to do is just put like a little bubble here, since it's just a singular number, 15. And then the next one as well also gets multiplied by the LCD, 15. Well, if we multiply everything on the left, we also have to multiply on the right. So 15 has to be multiplied by 15. At this point, we want to make our fractions go away. So if I look at, if you want to rewrite them as single fractions, you can. So this would be 15y over 5 minus 15y over 3 equals, and then 15 times 15, 225. All right, you should have no more fractions when we go through the next step. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. Y just goes with it. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So our fractions are gone. So then we just continue solving. 3 minus 5 is -2. Divide the -2 off. And that fraction doesn't reduce, it doesn't divide nicely, so we would just give the answer -225 over 2. All right, most important thing with rationals is, we went over the undefined earlier, is double check your answers. In this case, we don't have to worry because we did not have any variables in our denominator. But if you do have variables involved in the denominator, you need to make sure whatever answer it is you got does not give you 0 in that denominator. If it does, it is an extraneous solution, which means a solution that is not allowed. All right, next one. We have x plus 22 over x equals -13. So LCD is x. There's only one thing in the denominator besides a 1, so x. So we are going to multiply everything by our LCD. So x gets multiplied by the LCD. The 22 over x gets multiplied by the LCD. When it's a fraction, I would put your x a little more in line with the numerator. Don't accidentally write it here. You can't multiply on the bottom. It's got to go to the top. And then we have our equals, and -13 also gets multiplied by the LCD. Every term on the left and right gets multiplied by your LCD. X times x is x squared. 22 over x times x, those are common factors, so those x's divide out. So we just have 22 equals -13x. So this is a quadratic. So what we need to do is get everything on one side. We're going to have to solve by factoring. So we're going to add the 13x to both sides. We want to list them in order. So x squared plus 13x plus 22 equals 0. And we're going to factor. So double bubble, since leading coefficient's 1. We know it's x and x. Multiply to 22, add to 13. That is 11 and 2, and they're both positive. So then we set each equal to 0. I'm going to move my 11. I'm running out of room, so I'm just going to move it without writing it down. We subtract 2 from both sides. And then check. Before you box in, if variables are involved in that LCD, you need to check your solutions. Easiest way to check them, plug them back into the LCD one at a time, and if any of those factors become 0, exclude the answer. So our LCD was just x, so when I plug either of those in, I do not get 0. So that means they are both valid solutions. C. All right, looking at my denominators, it's in factored form, so I can go straight to my LCD. LCD is x minus 4. The denominators are the same. So we're going to multiply each by the LCD. So our first fraction, x minus 2 over x minus 4, gets multiplied by the LCD, x minus 4. Then we have our equals sign. Our second fraction, 2 over x minus 4, gets multiplied by the LCD as well. All right, at this point, divide out common factors. The x minus 4 divides out with the x minus 4, so we're left with x minus 2. On the other side, the x minus 4s also divide out, and we are left with 2. Add 2. We get x equals 4. Don't forget to check. So easiest place to check is with the LCD. So I'm going to take my solution 4 and I'm going to go plug it into the LCD. The problem is when I plug this into the LCD, I'm trying to get it to do a nice arrow. Third try. It's usually the one it likes. There we go. So we're going to plug it in right there. And the problem is that is 0. So 4 minus 4 gives us 0. So that means this is an extraneous solution. It is a solution that is not valid. So it's extraneous. I'm just going to abbreviate extraneous. So since there is no other solution that we got, there is no solution to this problem. Be very, very careful with that. Always